It's got to be the dumbest video of the year.
Perfect.
What is going on, people? Welcome back to the channel. It has been a minute and I am not doing a ranked set. I just saw the dumbest video I have seen in my fucking life, and I had to talk about it because, okay, so Mike Hollow released a video talking about one and done Tekken, a very toxic rant about one and done Tekken players. And I thought it was very good. In fact, I thought he took it easy on one and doneers. Personally, I thought he was respectful. I thought he was cool about it. I thought he didn't say, I mean, he called him bitch made at one point, but other than that, I mean, it was a pretty mild video, to be honest. And he made a lot of good points. Now, I don't know why on God's green earth this dog shit popped up in my recommended, but I was going to comment initially, but there was just so much dumb shit that I had to address that I was like, okay, I'm just going to make a video on it because it's just too much. So, okay, let's get into it because I'm going to start this thing over.
I get started, I'm gonna say one thing, almost like a disclaimer, because you always get these people that are like, oh, it's just a game, it's not that serious. Clean out your ears and open your eyes. 95% of the people that come here know what's up, but for the 5% that are struggling to grasp where they are, I want you to look around for 2 seconds. Okay, we looked around? Cool. You are on
the whole, like, first
a
portion of the video
gaming
is him
YouTube channel. On this channel, we talk about video games, predominantly
basically
fighting
saying,
games. The people that
don't
comment
bash
on this
video
YouTube
games.
channel
It's-
play games,
we're just here to
predominantly
talk about our
fighting
shit
games.
and leave
So,
us alone. But okay, first, we need to address this. Like, what the fuck is this? What am I looking at here? How can you say anything negative about people behind this? That's your, like, this is your persona? Bro, like, I was like, what the fuck am I looking at here? This is the guy that's gonna sit here and tell us how we should be playing fighting games? The fuck out of here, bro. Let me get the whole thing.
so that means
the whole idiocy.
this does not mean that if I'm ranting about something that I have not touched grass today, it doesn't mean that people commenting are sad and pathetic because they're having a little bit of a bitch about a game.
How is criticizing a video game equate to no life? I criticize video games all the time. I got a full-time job, and it's a pretty good career. I have a daughter on the way, and I'm getting married. The fuck are you doing, huh? What does this dude do? He can't even spend money on getting a good setup or editing thing. He spent all his time and effort on this dumb fucking avatar. Okay, that's the first thing. So, yeah, commenting critical thing about a video game doesn't equate to having no life. Second, he's not demanding people play it the way he wants them to. It's questioning the fact that you can leave after a single win when the general consensus and etiquette of all fighting games is, especially, or at least even in the ranked mode, is out of 3. Like, that's just how it is. You ask any high-level player, any professional player, none of them will be like, yeah, I won and done. It's just makes sense to me. No, absolutely not. Dumb. Out of touch with
it just means in this
from
particular
that
moment,
avatar.
that's what we are talking about. And I have to bring that up because I see people attacking other people in my comment section saying, I can't believe there are people complaining about a game. Do you guys do nothing else? How stupid do you have to be to comment that to somebody else?
Yeah, in the same way he's able to call them stupid. What? Dumb.
If you want to one and done, you're well within your right. You are well within your right. Just understand that if it comes to a conversation of, do you want to be respected as a player? Or you know, if you go over to a Formula 1 YouTube channel, they're going to be either praising or bitching or reviewing Formula 1. If you go over to a video dedicated to golf, they're going to be talking about golf in some manner, probably talking about what...
I'm not going to respond to all of it. There's definitely just points that this dumbass made that I wanted to touch on because some of it was pretty dumb. So, okay, wait, Mirror. He tells a little story about the one and done thing.
But I had a lot of fun making it, but I don't think I made my points as clear as I could have. And now as the channel has grown, I will expand why I hate this one and done situation so much. Let me tell you what really pissed me off today. And I was sitting and I was like, how dare this motherfucker? I was playing against this Steve player. His name is Blackheart59. In the first match, I played against this Tekken God Steve. He might have been Tekken God or Tekken God Supreme, I can't remember. And I beat the piss out of him. And I said, you know what? First game, no problem. You get your run back. I give everyone a run back, unless the connection's absolute dog water. And even then,
which to me, I'm just gonna touch on this, is perfect. That's the only time I think it's acceptable to not rematch, is if it's someone that's like you really don't like if it's a personal thing, sure, or if it's like this, like where it's just a connection. If it's terrible, I get it, because then it's like, well, the quality of the gameplay is garbage, and that's on both ends, and it's no one's getting better from it. Then yeah, then that's when it makes sense to leave after one game.
I don't think I've ever walked away from a rematch. But I gave this guy his rematch because I was like, Feng Wei's another character that you don't see very often. Maybe he just got caught off guard. And you know what? In the second match, it was a bit more closer, but he took it in the end. This guy key charged me at the end. I was like, ah, no problem. We're getting disrespectful. That's all good. That's all within the confines of the fight. I can have a bit of banter in the game, no problem. What does this guy do? He exits. And this is where I really have a problem.
Sick in the mind?
Sick in the mind to be calling. That is a one and done. He's missing the point. Yeah, he won once and left. Sure, it wasn't one game, but this is being technical. Calling someone insane because of that is there's words I want to use but can't. YouTube will shoot me. So is your avatar. Inaccurately define things. We agree to that. It was before Tekken 7. No. He's also, yeah, yeah, but that's missing the point. The whole problem is that you're not playing a set. How little, if you don't care about your rank, then don't play ranked. That's why it's called ranked. It's for people who care about the rank. Even the comment section. Let's just look at this real quick. Just to be expected. Okay, no, not that one. Where is it? Players are confusing rank system with league system. Rank is just a casual mode. No, it's not. That's why there's a casual mode. How dumb are you? People should ask Team Mortal to work on a real league system with competitive. It just doesn't have the competitive rules. It's just dumb for me. The purpose of ranking was always all players match up with other players at or around their skill level. Ranked was never a competitive mode in any game. It is the only competitive mode in every game. Every game. Mortal Kombat is Combat League. It's tied to the ranked. You have the ability to. It will never be as long as the ability cherry pick up. You have to go through that a lot, though. You can't cherry pick that many to where you ascend to a rank where it's that ridiculously fraudulent. You have to block so many people. And there's just too many people in the world. You can't. It's not possible. Cheaters can't be properly dealt with. Yeah, I'll admit they're pretty bad at that, but that's, again, that falls into my point and Mike Hollow's point that the developers are just doing a shit job with the mode. So, wrong again, dumbass. Okay, let's go back to this trash avatar. It's not a stupid addition. That's the whole thing. It's a competitive mode. That's... there it is. It's not to exploit the system. It's because one match in a fighting game doesn't decide a damn thing. If you ask any high-level player, like I said it earlier, you ask anybody that is relatively good at the game, they don't one and done. Unless it's for, like I said earlier, connections, or it's... You know, like if you're fighting someone like 6Arakin or something, I know he pretty much only plays on subscribers, but like someone like that, like if I ran into a guy, I would win once, key charge and do it. just to be intentionally disrespectful. Because leaving after one game is disrespectful to me. I think it's trash. Two and doners is not a thing. To farm others for points. I can see that being an issue, but you could just do what Mortal Kombat does. Is after the set is over, you can do a friendly rematch to where you just play without the need, like, you don't get points. You can keep playing, but you can't farm points. That's not what ranked is for. And you pea-brained dumb motherfucker didn't even think of that because that beanie cap is full of hot air. Ain't no fucking brain in there. I don't hear this brain down.
Now there are three kinds of one and doners. I'm gonna get back to this guy in a little bit because this is the most egregious kind of one and done. There are the one and doners who lose and don't want to fight you again. I don't like these kinds of people, but they don't have to rematch me. We've already had the one match. If they feel like I battered them within an inch of their life that they can't even play again, then get on your bike and start pedaling. I think.
Yeah, I still think it's bad. I mean, they lost their points though, so I'm kind of like, that one's, like you said, it's not as bad because you're not losing. It's not fraudulent. They lost and then they left. It'd be the same thing as Mortal Kombat where you forfeit the set. You forfeit the set. You don't. It's the same thing with here, except you don't lose double points or anything like that. If you leave after one game, you just lose the points that you lost for losing that one match.
It's kind of lame, especially when you're a God of Destruction rank player, which I actually had to deal with today. It was a pool player. He was battering me for the first 2 rounds, and then I managed to come back and I took the game, and I was quite happy with that because he's God of Destruction Pool. Pool just recently got buffed. Pool is pretty ridiculous right now, and not a lot of people are familiar with him and his new tricks. So it was kind of cool to beat him. I thought, I want to run it back. Let me see if I can do it again. He didn't want to run it back. No problem. These one and doners I have less of a problem with. I already got my points. You want to get on your bike and start pedaling? Pedal on out of here.
I would encourage people to blacklist people that do one and done just because they lost.
You get the one and doners.
He said he would encourage it. He didn't say he has a problem with it. That's two very different things.
Who beat you in a game, and more often than not this game will be very, very close, and it's like they know they got away with murder and they leave, and you're sitting there and you bitch made mother trucker. And this is where my problem with one and doners start. Now, the reoccurring comment that I get with these kind of one and doners is these people don't owe me a rematch, and you are 100% absolutely right. They owe me nothing. This vitriol.
Even this, like, yeah, I agreed in the sense that, yes, it's not a legal thing. I'm not losing money. At the end of the day, yes, it's not a big deal. It's sad and pathetic, but it's not like we're not going to be able to sleep at night. Everyone's going to go home to their families. But for the sake of the quality of the game that we all love and support, it's trash. And it's a really shitty etiquette. It's garbage. Can you imagine if Major League Baseball stopped doing that? Instead of 100-something games in the season, you just keep playing each team once. One fucking game. Because everyone's like, 9 innings. If you can't adjust in 9 innings, that's that. It's like, no. No. There's a reason why you play teams multiple times at that level. Because in the amount of time that there is a lot of different strategies and things that can happen to where the better team needs more time to fully adjust because bad luck can occur. Same thing with this game. There's 40 plus characters, each with 100 plus moves. It is humanly impossible to memorize every single move and how to deal with them. With that said, if it's a character you barely see or even haven't seen, every time there's a new DLC character, every character you fought without fighting before at least once. You fought every single character, and you will continue to. Every DLC character comes out, you're going to fight them without fighting them the first time. And if this dumbass really thinks that one fucking game is enough for you to figure out and adapt and learn a whole new moveset, then what else is there to say?
That I have is targeted at Michael Murray, Harada, and the Tekken team. The reason that I don't like one and dones is because they are fakes. People that do one and done.
It's not because they're one and doners. It's because they made a game mode that allows you to bail out on what they made to be a set. They make it into it's set based, but you don't have to participate. That's dumb. It ruins the point. Like, why even bother with the first 3? You should have just left it the way it was in 7 at the very end. It would have been less of a spit in the face if it was just like 7, but now it's like, oh, it's supposed to be a set, but they might bail out. Like that one shitty friend you try not to make plans with.
And are fakes. They are fakes. They are tryhards. Those are the actual tryhards. They're the ones that want to appear like they're actually sick of the game when they're shit. If you want to one and done, you're well within your right. You are well within your right.
Yeah,
just understand that if it comes to a conversation,
and I'm within my right to call you a fucking scrub. I am within my right to not only point out why you're a scrub, I'm also within my right to say that my reasoning for why you're a scrub is going to trump whatever reasoning you have for saying why it's not scrub-like. Every single time.
of
Do you want to be respected as a player? Or
you have a ranked mode, not casual mode. Why are you not locking these wet blankets into at least best out of 3? It should be more than that, but if you're not going to give us more,
Nobody owes me a rematch, but I'm demanding. Yeah, he's saying yes, nobody owes you a rematch because it's that way. So he's asking for it to be changed. You're missing the point because, again, hot air in the fucking dirty, smelly beanie.
why are you not locking them in? It should be a requirement to finish the set before you get your points. Your ranked is fraudulent. You have a bunch of frail Tekken gods masquerading around like they've done some shit.
Exactly. I'd hardly call that a fluke. See, that's, again, back to my point. 3 rounds in a game where you can die from 1 or 2 combos is, again, not decisive in the slightest. Especially as you become an actually good player. Like, the more you fight people, people get better. Their punishments, their combos, they're all consistent and hard-hitting. You suddenly start to have bad luck costs you more the further along you go. And yes, it's bad luck. It's not like there's a difference. I mean, it's not purely luck. Obviously, the better player won't make mistakes. But making a small mistake in red ranks is not the same as making a small mistake in, blue ranks even. I'd say, or gold ranks. Like, if you go for a throw and the opponent ducks it, odds are they might not even punish it in red ranks. They might just duck and then go into a move from there after the throw whiffs. But in gold ranks, if they're ducking and you whiff a throw, they're either waiting for it or they have the reaction time to straight up combo you or consistently punish you at the least. And that's what I mean, like, if you beat somebody 3 times because of knowledge checks, and it's not beating them 3, you're beating them 3 rounds, not the same. Beating someone in a round doesn't mean anything in a game like this. Between the stages, the movesets, everything, beating someone in 3 rounds means nothing. Can you imagine if that's how they decided Evo? Nee beat Arslan 3 rounds. This motherfucker would call that, okay, well, Nee won. He won 3 rounds. It wasn't a fluke. He won. He's the better player. Does that make sense to you? Does that make sense to anybody? No! Anybody with a brainstem would tell you no.
Tekken is meant to be the most complex, the most nuanced, the most hard to adapt to. And you're telling people it's okay to leave after 1 game. Are you shitting me? Where is the logic in that? It was a pool player. He was battering me for the first 2 rounds. Then I managed to come back and I took the game and I was quite happy with that.
Yes, you can adapt in 1 match. I mean, in 1 round, or what is it, within rounds or in 1 match, but it's not enough. In a game with such complexity, the only way I would see you not realizing this is if you're not playing with that complexity, which tells me you're an idiot. It just tells me you're just not that smart. You don't understand the intricacies of Tekken, or any fighting game for that matter, because you have this wildly moronic viewpoint. No. Point farming was allowed. Yeah, in Tekken 7, sure, but honestly, how often did that really occur? How often did that happen? How many Tekken God Omegas got there because they had a friend hop on and just fucking let them have at it? The funny thing is, that doesn't even really work, because after a while, your rank only goes so high, and so the opponent's rank only goes so low. That's a lot of work to put in for that. Like, you either have to have somebody keep up with you in rank so the points are still as significant, or you yourself have to make another account and do the same thing, basically. And I mean, this is partial. I'd still say this is partially true for what made Tekken 7's ranked fraudulent, because yes, I think that's dumb that you were able to do that. But that's part of why I talked about Mortal Kombat's version, where it becomes a casual set if you want to continue. The ranked set is over, you can fight someone some more, but no points involved. I think that's great, because then in the rare case I have fun against someone who actually plays the full set, because anytime I have fun is usually when someone I've never had fun against someone that just plays one game, because they always play like an idiot. They always play like someone who talks and makes videos behind an avatar with pubic hair for a mustache. Always. And okay, like, what is this? Another big reason people got so high is because you could do any of the 100+ moves that you likely haven't memorized enough, because again, 40+ characters, 100+ moves, it's just not possible. And you could run off with up to 2,000 points. That's also fraudulent, and that's way more common. It's a way bigger problem than what you're bitching about. So again,
obviously, for the most part, guys, I'm messing about here. For those of you that made it this far into the video and haven't gone into comment section going, oh, this guy's so sad, I'm having a bit of a laugh, a bit of a joke, because I haven't been able to get around to my honest. This is happening.
So yeah, he's showcasing here. He said 17 times in one day. 17 times people won once or lost once and just left. One and done. That's tragic. Easy. That's another thing too. He's confusing beating someone twice for easy points. It's not easy points. The whole thing is, okay, if you if it's easy points for me because I can beat someone twice that easy, then I deserve the points, because I'm gonna shoot up the ranks all the way up until it's no longer easy points. Then it becomes a real set. That's the whole reason you need that locked in. I mean, it's not the whole, but that's another good reason you need that locked in, because, okay, if I'm in green ranks, is it, okay, I'm Tekken Emperor. If I go into green ranks and start beating the shit out of people, is it fair that I only get one game, so I stay there longer and continue to just thrash more green ranks? No. I should beat them more often so I can keep going up. The more I win, the more I go up. It's not easy points. You're missing so much brain power, just not there. That's how ranked works. Right?
So it was kind of cool to beat him. I thought, I want to run it back. Let me see if I can do it again. He didn't want to run it back. No problem. These one and doneers I have less of a problem with. I already got my points. You want to get on your back and start peddling out.
I would encourage people
That's different.
to blacklist people that do want to.
The person that owes me something is Harada, and he owes me an explanation. He owes everybody else an explanation.
So like this one, he posted a comment. It looks like he thinks he's entitled to a rematch to me. Yes, when he says they don't owe me a rematch, he means yes, they're not required by law. There's no written rule that you need to rematch. However, if we implement it, then there is. That becomes a written rule, because you have to finish the set or forfeit it, which would make more sense to literally everybody that has an ounce of brain power that plays fighting games.
Explanation who agrees with me. There's two anyway. All of these stages that you interact differently with all of these playstyles that you have to wrap your head around with. Why the hell would you make the most difficult fighting game on the market, the one that takes the longest to adapt to, the one that has the most characters with the most moves, with all of these stages that you interact differently with all of these playstyles that you have to wrap your head around with?
I'm not sure. I think he's referring to him kind of bitching about what makes ranked difficult in general, or just what makes the game difficult. And going into rank, okay, I thought he meant like he was gonna say like, yeah, I wasn't feeling good or whatever. Then yeah, that's no excuse. That's no one else's problem either. I mean, it's whatever. I'd agree with that. However, that's not what he's referring Once again, point makes no fucking sense. Okay, again, there's one thing to study for a test at school. Judging by the mustache, he's in high school. Studying for a test in high school is, if I asked you to not only memorize the startup frames of every single move, but also if they're tracking or not, what their properties are, what the frames are on block, what the recovery frames is, and what the specific punish is for every character that you might play, you are going to fail. Everyone is going to fail. No one is going to get that 100% correct. There's going to be something wrong. And in that gap, you can lose a match. That's why you need room to work with. That's why everyone needs room to work with. No one is decidingly, like, no one beats someone and is like, okay, that one game definitely said enough. And if it is, then it should be like a ridiculous blowout, like someone in Green Regs fighting a Tekken god. Like, that's, then one game looks a little different, though. It looks different. That's another thing. Beating someone 3 rounds and I'm beating you 2 rounds, that might be a fluke. Because then that just means 1 round could have just went your way. 1 round, not 3. Maybe 2 you beat me, but 1 round went your way. And that 1 round decided everything. And that could be the case even if you did a first to 2, but at least first to 2, there's more room. It's less likely. It's a lot less likely, and that's the difference. That's what makes it less fraudulent if you beat in the set. A Tekken King that leaves after every single win is not nearly as good as a Tekken King that finishes every set. There's just no way. I would bet money that if you can get to Tekken King, or if you can get whatever rank you go to the highest, just winning 1 game and that's it, whatever rank, you can even get to God of Destruction. I will bet you will lose almost every single match. Every single match. Every single match that you play at that level. I bet you will lose every single match.
You can't make up your mind.
Like, where do you find this?
System that locks you in place. Have you guys ever fought a Xiao Yu and she does her heat burst on you or whatever it's called, and then you're stuck there? Actually,
Just kind of talking about Xiao Yu being a little busted, and how there's nothing you can do when the move is there. Like, when a certain move leaves you from Xiao Yu, like, it leaves you in a position where you literally have no response. You have nothing.
characters like Xiao Yu. Are you joking?
You gotta hold it. And that's his point, is like, you have characters that are crazy like that, which makes it even, there's always a general, like, some moves, like, you can kind of tell, like, okay, that's definitely a high. It looks like a high. Like, a lot of characters have similar moves where you can kind of adapt, like, okay, I think I can do this, just from the way the move looks. I think I can step this way. I think I can duck that. I think that's punishable. It took a while to recover. But there's characters like Xiao Yu who have the most bizarre movements, or like Yoshimitsu or the Bears. They have the most bizarre attacks and movements, and if you don't study every single fucking one consistently, because you will forget, then you can lose to these characters in 1 match easy. Easy.
The only logical explanation I can think of was you wanted to bring in the casual.
I can't believe calling anyone names with that fucking avatar, dude. It's the dumbest thing. And okay, that was pretty much it. But okay, real quick, I'm gonna leave some notes here. In general, I'd say rank is meant to match people based off skill. That's what the rank is supposed to signify in general. It's not going to be concrete. There's just no way. But at the very least, it should be a good estimate of how good you are at the game. But people that one and done they're not the same, because they win once and leave when they most likely would lose their rematches, at least as they go higher in the ranks. They are more and more likely to lose in the rematch, but they don't find out. They don't stick around, and that's why it's like, okay, well, that's like, okay, let me see if I can put some better words. That's like only doing a third of a test or half a test. You're more likely to pass because it's less of a test. You're more likely to win points because you're doing half the set, a third of it possibly. a third to a half of the set. So yeah, it's easier. It's easier to win. And if it's easier to win like that, you're not as good. You're not, because going the harder route showcases more so and is a better representation of how good I am at the game compared to you. Because I've lost. If I beat someone and it is a fluke, because it could have been, it has been. I've definitely beaten people that were better than me the first match and then got the shit kicked out of me the next two. What more do you need to hear? Yeah, that person beat me. They beat me. That's the difference. If I left after the first game, I'd win points, they win nothing. Now, is that partially their fault? Yes. But is it also like, okay, well, I didn't need to be a bitch and run after one game? Yes. Yes, it is. That's what the whole video is about. That's what my whole video is about. You're a bitch. If you leave after one game, you're a bitch. Not bitch made. You are a bitch. You're just a bitch. Simple. Ugh. Yep, I'm done here. Y'all have a good day.